Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
I hate VAR. I'm not even ashamed to say that anymore. I absolutely despise it. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I'm joined in the virtual room filled with a duo of lions. I got Berth, I got Chris, because Ollie's busy celebrating his wedding, so congratulations to that man. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know, but he's doing something, and whatever he's doing, good for him. So that's the main thing. As long as he had a great wedding, which we are assured that he did, and his wife did have a good wedding as well, we were told. But what were your highlights or moments from the weekend, team?
My Sunday League team won. We still got first game in about 10 games that we won.
Nice.
We are currently bottom of our division, which is the league above Chris's.
Very Sheffield United.
Yeah, but as soon as they've moved me to centre back now, and I don't like to brag, but I've got 2 man of matches on the bounce now.
Wow.
So I'm like, people are calling me John Stones, people are calling me Virgil van Dijk, and I'm just, look, I stay humble, but it was good to win, and it was a good. Always sports was a great thing to do on a weekend. It's always what I look forward to. So yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. Well, what about you, Chris?
Well, to be fair, I played football on the weekend. I played half an hour at right back.
Oh, wow!
And I'll be honest with you, cannot believe how easy it is. I have never ever had so much space on a football pitch before. You have so much time and space at right back; it's insane.
Wow, you could make a brew just to.
I mean, it's weird that you say that, Chris, right? Because obviously I've been centre midfield for the past 3-4 yees of my Sunday League career, and I've just sort of transformed to centre back. I've played full back a lot, but I've gone to centre back. I find so much more space and time on the ball. It's actually fantastic. It's weird. Yeah. It's brilliant. I really enjoy it, and because I'm getting older now, my legs have kind of gone a bit, so it's nice to just
I feel
jog about, just ping the ball a few times. Just have a nice stroll in the park.
Wow, fair enough. I can't really argue with your points there. For me, it's got to be the amount of biscuit bets and sandwich props that I cashed in on. I was feasting. Look, I got 5 of my 6 NFL draft predictions right. Made those back in February. Just want to point that out, including which player my team, Seahawks, good draft at 16. So I was very happy because I picked that player just because I really wanted us to draft him. No other reason, nothing else was. I had no sources. It was just I wanted him. We got him. I'm happy. And of course, outside of one football to another, Onana, the bet that he would get under 12.5 clean sheets in the Premier League this season, cashed in because he can't get more than 12 now. And finally, the over 7.5 goals and assists for Maatsen and Sancho came into. Oh, I mean, I tell you, when I hit it out the park, oh, bloody hell. I was really happy with that. I really was.
That is good.
Thank you. With that, we're not actually going to hit the news. We're actually going to do sort of something, sort of the same. Oh, a bit of breaking news at 11 a.m. was Thiago Silva said goodbye in a video that was actually emotional. You actually felt that he meant it, unlike when we had a video released of another blonde player from, Thiago Silva's not blonde now, but another blonde player from last season who said goodbye very, very defaultly in probably a hotel somewhere in Manchester. He does confirm that Silva is obviously leaving at the end of the season. I mean, legend, but it's official. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it, team?
I'm absolutely good. I think it was always going to happen this season. I think we sort of was just waiting for this announcement, but doesn't make it any easier, does it? It's never nice to lose in any influential player, not like him. But what a player he's been, and I have to say he's probably been one of my favourite Chelsea signings of all time. I definitely think I'd from my lifetime, I'll put him number 2 centre back at Chelsea.
Oh wow!
Behind John Terry. I just professionally just unbelievable, genuine legend of the club. Love the club. Will never have a bad word to say about Thiago Silva. And if he was to come back as a coach or whatever, he'd come back with open arms. We'd love to have him back. So, all the best to him. And sad day for Chelsea, really. And for him as well.
He does suggest that he wants to come back in a non-playing capacity, which, bloody hell, considering he was at like clubs like PSG and AC Milan in his career, that's quite something. I mean, wow! He chose us, and he obviously I think we were the second longest after PSG. So, wow. What about you? How you feeling, Chris?
Yeah, same as Berth, really. It was one of those sad days. I think like everyone's seen it coming, but when you see he's just become part of the club in what is, in football terms, quite a short space of time, really. But he brought into it straight away, and some players do that. They buy into the club straight away, and he's always kind of looked at home here. I think it would be great to have him back at some point in a non-playing capacity, and I just think you won't. I don't think we'll truly understand how important he was until we see us next season without him. I think he's really gonna. His departure is going to have a massive influence on the dressing room, and it's a shame. I can understand why it's happened from his point of view and kind of from the club's point of view as well. But it's a sad day to see him go, and I just hope that last game at Stamford Bridge he gets a proper send off.
Yeah, I mean,
agreed.
I mean, you'll find out. I won't tease it yet, but there's only two. There'll only be two now from the Champions League final team from 21. That'll be obviously Reece James and Ben Chilwell. So it's incredible how just in a couple of years that team has just completely been ripped apart. Obviously, players have reasons,
and those two don't play.
The whole team has gone. Everyone's gone. They're all
much.
But look, I'm delighted that we were able to give him that Champions League. He nearly got it with PSG, but he did it with us. And yes, I'm so happy. He deserves it. He's one of the greatest defenders of his era, of his generation. Whether he's the second behind Terry, I don't know, because obviously we've had so many incredible defenders in our history. I mean, you've got Desailly, you've got Harris, you've got Carvalho, so many. I mean, so that's a debate.
I think obviously I'm just saying that for my lifetime.
I think that's completely fair.
I saw, but I was very young when Desailly was there. Carvalho, I did see again. I was only about 10 when Carvalho was there, and I did appreciate him. But I think for me personally, I think I appreciate Thiago Silva more than Carvalho, so that's why I think I've got him second.
That's fair, it's fair. We have a double match report for you. First up, obviously, it's the Chelsea women. They took on Barcelona, didn't they, in the Champions League semi-finals in what was a sellout at Stamford Bridge, and it ended. It didn't end how we expected or what we thought. It ended Chelsea 0, Barcelona 2. So the Champions League dream is dead. It was heartbreak, and Chris, I mean, we at the time we were both polar opposites on how we felt about the game. I've sort of come around to your thinking though. But hey, what was your take now that the dust has settled?
Absolute shambles. Another game decided by a referee and not by football teams. That simple. I thought Barcelona was horrendous throughout with the diving and the conning of the referee. I think the one that summed it up was the sliding tackle where she slid past her and then she just fell over anyway. Absolutely woeful.
That was bad.
The sending off is horrendous and shows another farce in VAR that they can't get involved because it's a second booking, but it's resulted in a red card. But because it's a booking and not a straight red, they can't do anything. Absolutely ridiculous, because it's never a booking in a million years. She wins the ball clearly. And the penalty, well, I can't believe the penalty isn't being talked about more. Like, everyone's focusing on the red card. For me, the penalty is worse, because when you watch it on a replay, Ashley Lawrence at no point makes a tackle, doesn't even attempt to make a challenge. And she throws her leg into the back. She kicks the back of Lawrence's leg and falls over and gets a penalty. And then someone, a moron on VAR, has watched it in super slow-mo at 17 different angles and gone, yeah, that's fine. You can give that. And then the referee smirking after it, I think, just summed it up. I agree with what Emma Hayes said. Robbed, basically. But on the football side of it, we have partly got to blame ourselves because we had the chances in the game. We had I mean, Leopold's somehow hitting the bar when it was harder to miss.
You have to score that. You just do. You have to.
Yeah. Nuskin hit the post as well. We did have chances and didn't take them. And when you're playing a team like Barcelona, you have to take them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll punish you. And they did.
I mean, we should be discussing a top game. We should be, two of the greatest women's teams in the game. And obviously we should also be talking about how Stamford Bridge was a sellout and how proud we are. And we are. We genuinely are. We are so proud of all of that. We're proud of how it was a sellout. We're also proud of the team and completely. But yet again, we will be talking, like you've just said, about officiating in the Women's Champions League because it was poor. And that's just me being the clean version of events. Look at the group stage. We already know what happened in that. There was a red card. There was an offside. There was a penalty. And you look at all of them going, what the hell? What's this? This is nonsense. None of those decisions were correct in the group stage. And they got worse as the tournament got further on progressed. I mean, my thoughts on the key decisions from minor decisions to major. Niamh Charles was booked for her reaction to being, it seemed, the only one to see it was a blatant foul throw. There was nothing earlier, though, for Bonmati waving imaginary cards, and we're told that that's a bookable offence.
Yeah. She did that like 3 times as well.
Not a booking, though, apparently. Myra Ramirez was taken down, but no penalty. And then, as obviously you touched on, a player dives into Lawrence and they get a penalty. Okay. And yeah, this is the contentious one. The second yellow card, which meant Buchanan saw red. I didn't think that was a foul. I think she won the ball fairly. I think that's an extremely poor decision. The penalty is, I've looked at it back. I think it's 50-50 because some will give that and some will not. I think that's the thing because there's an arm touches and it's like, that's kind of the way it is in football. It's a contact sport with, you've got to be careful of the contact, no contact sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I am proud of the team. I'm proud of our performances in general across this campaign, this Champions League and the WSN. We've had so many games, so many games, and we've done so well.
Just before you bring Berth in on this, something else that really annoyed me about this game. Firstly, the fact that it wasn't on YouTube. You had to watch it through the website, and it kept buffering.
I noticed that. I couldn't get mine.
Absolutely terrible stream.
It was.
So that wound me up straight away. And the commentary. Oh my god. Firstly, I don't know why you're having that Leanne Sanderson do Chelsea games, considering she absolutely hates Chelsea. I don't know why, but she does. And then the commentators saying, not at any point bringing up things like, we haven't got any strikers and we've got loads of first team players out injured. Nah, just, well, you play Barcelona, then they are the better team. And you're thinking, well, there are circumstances to this, though. Not talking about the contentious decisions at any point, just talking as though Barcelona come and played us off the pitch, which just, again, wasn't true. And yeah, the commentary and then the punditry, in inverted commas, afterwards, that wound me up even more.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, we've lost Mia Fisher and we've got Sam Kerr out, so that's 2 huge losses to the team. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Ramirez didn't play. Ramirez didn't play because she was ill.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Berth, how did you take the game?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just really sick of just talking about referees and VAR all the time. Because it's just happening over and over in men's, women. I mean, the officiating from the game of the weekend is actually laughable. That tackle that Chris mentioned earlier, is actually probably one of the worst decisions I've actually ever seen. Like, genuinely, the worst decision I think I may have ever seen. And I can understand you may have got the wrong angle, but then to just get so many other big decisions wrong, and I'm not going to say like Chelsea will be kicking themselves, and they will because they did miss a lot of chances, like you just mentioned, and against Barcelona, a team like that, you just cannot miss those chances. So they will be kicking themselves, but they'll also look at it and go, we have been robbed, because that's the only way you can describe it. You look at the decisions, and like Chris said, that when you saw the ref laughing or smirking, it made me want to kick the TV in. And it's just not on. It's not acceptable. And Barcelona probably, I think, will win the tournament now. But you've got to be proud of them. You really have got to be proud of them. But they will be so frustrated to be robbed of a real special moment for Emma Hayes as well. She'll be absolutely seething, and it's a real shame. But look, you got to be proud of them that they did play well overall. I thought over 2 days, I thought they were brilliant. But it's just so sick, boring. Talking about referees every single week. It's not even like every other week now. It's just every week. Come on here, we talk about refs and VAR, and it's killing the game, and then it's getting worse. And I'm sure we'll talk about another decision in a minute in the men's game. But it is getting worse. And I don't know, in 2024, with all this technology, with all this money that UEFA are putting in, we're still talking about being robbed. You cannot tell me that UEFA didn't want Barcelona in that final.
I mean,
I definitely did.
It doesn't look. I can understand, because obviously the fallout from it, there was a lot of questionable decisions. I mean, obviously it's going to be against Leon, so hopefully.
I think
Leon are a great team, and Leon, I mean, it's going to be a very close game.
Come on, Sonia, you can do it.
Yeah, but
you'll be loved instantly if you can.
It's real frustrating. You do have to feel heartbroken for them, because it's just, to lose like that is actually so painful. You don't mind if you get like played off the park, but to be essentially robbed, it's just like we felt in 2009 against Barcelona. You just feel robbed, don't you?
I think I've got a prediction that sometime in the next 10 to 15 years, all of this is going to come out. Not just in the women's game, in the men's game as well. That football has been corrupt for decades, and because no one's seen it coming with Syria when they all got done for it, everyone was like, "Oh no, that wouldn't happen in top level sport," and it did. And you can't tell me that top level referees can watch a replay in numerous speeds at different angles and get the decision wrong.
And
by mistake. I just don't believe it.
I'll add on to what Chris has said. And look, I don't believe in all these conspiracies and all that, but you have to look at things. I mean, some things just don't add up, and you must.
Yeah.
You take the FA, for instance. There is absolutely no way that they wanted a Coventry versus Chelsea FA Cup final. No way did they want that. No, I'm not saying they fixed the game. They didn't fix the game at all.
Before the semi-finals, they already had the banners made up for the Manchester derby. They was like, "Oh, that'll look great."
And they did the on live TV in the studio. That has never happened before in my life. I've never known that to happen. Right?
No.
Like Ian Wright picking out a ball. I've never known that to happen. Look, again, and I'm not going to say, that it's guaranteed that it's a fix or anything. But you can't tell me that these things don't add up sometimes. They wanted a Manchester derby in the final of the FA Cup, 100%. UEFA absolutely love these Spanish teams, especially Barcelona, Real Madrid, teams like that. You know, they're powerhouses, aren't they? So sometimes you just got to look and go, this isn't right, and this is just one of those cases where you think something's not right here. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. I'm not going to say it's true. I could be talking shit for all I know. But it's happened one too many times now. You have to look at it and go, maybe there is something to this. You know, there's no smoke without fire, is there? So
the issue that I have with it is the amount of money that's involved in football now.
Yeah.
That it is run now as a business. So you can't tell me that these people in charge aren't thinking about money, and the biggest teams bring in the biggest money. So it's within their best interest to keep the top teams at the top. There's no question in that. There is no way the FA would look at it and think, oh, do you know what? I really hope this year we can get a Blackburn against Portsmouth FA Cup final. Oh, that'd be
I'd
great.
be down for that. I'm a
you
sucker
know
for an
what?
underdog.
Because no one would watch it.
Oh.
That's the reality. People would think, if I've got something else on, if I've got nothing else on, I might watch it, but not really. It's the same with, when there's games on the TV in the Premier League. I think like next week there's something like Everton against someone on, or Palace against some, and you think, am I going to watch that? Probably not. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. The weekend just gone. Everton played Brentford at 5:30 on TV on Sky.
Oh,
nobody watched it.
Nobody would have watched that.
What
the
a
game
game.
after on TNT was Chelsea versus Villa.
It's actually the Friday night football is Luton Everton.
Yeah, no one's watching that. Nobody except Luton and Everton fans. Nobody else is watching that.
Sorry, we've gone on such a tangent here, right? I don't even know if this is even like allowed to be broadcasted, but we're going for it, right? On Friday, Luton play Everton at 8:00. I'm guessing it's an 8:00 kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, or quarter to 8.
Yeah, something like
that. That Friday is a working day, right? Yeah. Everton to Luton is not a short trip.
No,
it is not a short trip. That's a 3-hour trip if ever I've seen one, right? How is this allowed to happen? Like
it's like the Christmas Eve game. Remember Chelsea and Wolves?
Exactly. Like,
there you go.
These boards just they have no clue.
I will clarify. Someone's going to say Ramirez didn't play because Chris touched on it. I meant the first leg. I didn't write that in my little thing, but after I'd said it, I realised probably should have added that.
I assumed you meant the first leg.
Yeah, because someone's going to go, didn't play. Anyway, we're very proud of the team. Very proud that it was a sellout. Absolutely outstanding atmosphere. So thank you for everyone. Everyone that
about the team,
made it a sellout. It was incredible. Absolutely outstanding. Right, the second match report. This one's sponsored by Craig Pawson, was saved by Axel Disasi, if you've seen the ending. Villa 2, Chelsea 2. Winners. I've got 3. I hope everyone has 3.
I've got 3.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got 3.
I hope everyone's got 3 as well. Yeah.
So technically, I'm going to spoil this straight away by saying the first one makes it a 5 set of winners for me, because I've got a triple set of winners as my first winner. Caicedo, because he was on fire today. I mean, well, not today when I wrote that, but obviously on the day. He earned my man of the match nod, if he cares. He's been absolutely bossing it in defensive midfield, winning balls left and right like an absolute boss. He has slipped up with a pass or two, and he does get a little bit too feisty at times with those yellow cards. But overall, he's exactly what we've been needing. And it wasn't just against Villa. He's been rocking it, hasn't he, in about 90% of our games this season, just quietly doing his job. And I felt that partnering up with Gallagher and Cucurella, who are my other, 2 key players in this actual triangle, I guess 4 quad of winners then. But anyway, Caicedo sort of showing us that he's got the goods there. And with the right game plan and support, I think he's sort of proven that he can be that game changer. And he's playing to that strength and minimising, obviously, the hiccups. And that final 2 of that triple set was Poch and Cucurella. I mean, that tactical shift to move into the midfield and just become like a free roaming midfielder. A bit like when David Luiz used to do it, but he was never told to do it. He just did it. That was a masterstroke and it changed the game. Poch did try that in pre-season and it worked then. And I'm going to be serious. I think that could be his position. I really do. But yeah. But Berth, what about a winner for you?
So to be fair, Caicedo was one of my winners. I will touch on him very quickly. I thought that was his best performance in a Chelsea shirt.
Brilliant.
I've not been his biggest fan since coming to Chelsea. I've seen glimpses, I really have. There's some games where I do think he can be a bit of a liability. Against Villa, he was an absolute monster. Like some of the tackles he made was absolutely incredible. I think at one point he got injured, then got back up and made a slide challenge and won the ball, and it was incredible. Like you talk about busting midfield. He busted that midfield on Saturday night. So he's definitely winning for me. Best performance by far, I think, in the Chelsea shirt. My second winner is Madueke, because I thought he looked probably the best of the wingers that we had on. I thought his goal was very good. I thought he took his goal very, very well.
Agreed.
He looked to take on his player. Looked very sharp. His touches were crisp. Made the right decisions. And again, he's another one that I've not really been his biggest fan since coming to Chelsea, but he has shown glimpses. And again, you could argue that it's probably his best performance in the Chelsea shirt against Villa. Real good performance. Thought he was a real threat down the right hand side, and hopefully we see a more consistent Noni Madueke, because on his day, he can genuinely be unplayable, and he's definitely winning for me.
What about you, Chris? I'm assuming you had Caicedo.
I did have Caicedo as well. I agree with Berth. I think it was his best performance in a Chelsea shirt. He, for the first time, looked like the player we saw at Brighton. He was brought in to get the best out of Enzo, but I don't think Enzo gets the best out of him. And I think we've seen a better I think every time we've seen Caicedo without Enzo, we've seen a better Caicedo. And I could argue that every time we've seen Enzo without Caicedo, we've seen a better Enzo as well. They don't work together. So we can keep playing it all we like. It's not going to change. They don't complement each other. And I think the Gallagher Caicedo pivot is the best pivot we can put out at the minute. And I think this game showed that again, that, I know we went 2-0 down, and first half it was a little bit huff and puff, but we wasn't bad first half. We just didn't really do anything. Villa had 2 attacks and scored both. So sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say fair play to them for being as clinical as they was. But that is definitely our best midfield. And Caicedo, especially in this game, looked like a player who you would spend money on, rather than the player we've seen for most of the rest of the season, who's been okay but hasn't been outstanding. This was a game where he actually looked like one of the best players on the pitch. So with that, I'll move on to Conor Gallagher is another one of my winners.
I agree.
Another outstanding performance. Second half, when obviously the tactical switch was to press a lot higher. There's no better midfielder in the league for pressing than Conor Gallagher. He is the best pressing midfielder in the league. Played a huge part in the first goal that got us back into the game, won the ball back initially, then got it back. And if Madueke doesn't score, it's a penalty, although VAR probably wouldn't give it. But it was not. It would have been a stonewall penalty. And then his goal on his weaker foot.
Unbelievable.
For a player with no technical ability, remember, to score that goal is outstanding.
And by the way, that's not the first time we scored a goal like that.
No, exactly. And do you know why he's a real winner for me, though? Because every week he is making it harder and harder for this board to justify selling him. He doesn't want to go. You can clearly see he doesn't want to go. And I don't know in the summer if I still think that he will inevitably be sold. I don't know how they're going to justify it, because we cannot replace him for less than what we're going to sell him for.
Well, no, I that's interesting, because we've got a question on that actually. So that would be, I'll touch on that later. My second winner is pooping the bed. It's a rare winner. Pooping the bed in general, it's not really a winning thing to do, but you can say whatever you like on it. But pooping the bed in the first half and then coming back in the second feels a lot better than when we pooped the bed in the second. Yeah. And the other team come back.
That's so true.
How often have we gone, that team talk didn't work? Like every game, that team talk didn't work at all. So everyone was like, perk, everyone was like, let's go for it. And considering me on my sofa was thinking, this is gone. This game's gone. So fair play. My final winner, it's Sweden. Because over the weekend, it was confirmed that Sweden is the first country to reject VAR following opposition from the majority of the elite clubs.
Well done, Sweden.
Well done.
This is why I love Scandinavian countries. I know my Denmark, they haven't done this, but hey, Sweden, they're smart, and they could have just gone. Take a look at the Premier League weekend that just was. There were so many BS VAR calls that ruled out many a pen, a goal. And for me, VAR is just as popular as a skunk in a perfume shop. It's immensely unpopular with the match-going fans. And,
Yeah.
you know, Chris touched on this actually a few weeks ago when he went to a game with VAR. And I completely understand because where they're coming from. Because look at it this way. You're not being told why a decision was overturned or was not, you know, at the very match you're at, all because you don't get to see the replay of the incident, which, you know, you could say, well, you know, it's but you know, VAR overall is not, it's stupid at the moment and it's made the game worse. But I stand by that. It has made it worse. It feels like it's there not to correct decisions, but to just any reason to be ruled out. I mean, the Disasi goal, you look at the Arsenal thing. That's what you need to do. Arsenal, Ben White did something similar to this, it was Badishil, wasn't it, for the Disasi goal?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Ben White did similar. We'll allow that. There's no consistency. And when you don't have consistency, it's a flawed system. I know people aren't perfect. I understand that. But you can't have when two major... Look at it this way. It would have been a draw for Arsenal and a win for Chelsea if it had been flipped around. Now, that's not fair. It should be both. Either both are given or both are ruled out. Yeah. That's why I just do not like how VAR is implemented. But Berth, who's your final winner?
My final winner is Pochettino, because I thought I thought we actually played well the whole game, but to go 2-0 down at half time, I think we was all thinking, oh, for God's sake, here we go again, another 3-4-0 loss. But as soon as we came out second half, it's a completely different team. The intensity got upped. The quality got upped. Gallagher was running around. There was a bit of quality in the final third. And it just seemed like the team was spurred on. And I thought his changes were really good. I thought tactically he was very good. And, you know, I actually think Poch is a bit of a scapegoat at the minute. I don't think any manager really would be doing better with this team. And it might be an unpopular opinion, but I honestly don't. I would not get rid of Poch. I don't think he's the problem at all. So I think that game against Villa did prove that there's no problem with Poch, because obviously the players clearly like him. They're clearly still playing for him. That there's still real quality there. So there was a lot of green flags in that performance. And I think you've got to put that down to Pochettino's changes and his halftime team talk and what he did tactically. So yeah, he's my final winner.
I agree completely. And you know, something else that I thought about, when you listen to his press conference before, it seems now like he's at a point where he's changed mentality from I want to please the board to I'll do it my way, and then they either sack me or they don't.
Yeah,
fair play to him.
And it's not a bad mentality.
No, because I think I said this. It might have been last week. I think certain players he's being forced to play because of their price tag. And when you do that to a manager, you're tying their hands, really. And the second half, you could see that he threw caution to the wind and thought, well, no, I'll just do it my way, and it either works or it doesn't, and I'll either keep my job or I won't. But I like the sort of attitude he's had the last week. I know some people have been saying about it's risky to call the board out, basically be calling the board out in press conferences, but he's got nothing to lose because his head's on a chopping block now anyway. So it's either they back him or sack him. Those are your choices, and
that happens with every Chelsea manager since like 2003.
But I'd prefer to see him backed, as I've said before, and just see what he can do if they have a better summer window where we don't sign a load of people who are just finishing preschool.
Who knows? Who knows if that policy really has been squashed? We'll see. Hopefully, though. Right, losers. I do have a winner left. Potts wasn't my winner. Sorry. Go on.
Sorry, that was just me going on a tangent again. Kukurea.
Yeah.
I thought second half when he went into midfield he was outstanding, but I also thought, own goal aside, I thought he was brilliant in the first half against Leon Bailey, who's another really good in-form winger. I thought he was one of the only ones to come out with any sort of pride from the Arsenal game. And I actually think he's another one where he's still being judged. Yeah, he's still being judged by what he was like before. not what he's actually doing now. Because I'd say since he come back into the team, I can't really think of many games where he's put a foot wrong.
Yeah, I'd
So
agree.
I think it's someone again where people have got to start reevaluating their opinion on him and just judging by what he's doing now. Because what he's done in the past and when he was absolutely shit, and he has been, like that's got no bearing on how he's playing now. And I think he does look like a player who's starting to find his feet now.
No, I think that's very fair. He deserves the plaudits. My losers. My first one's a very quick one. It was VAR, because see my rant in the winner section for our film on that. So I'll move quickly to my second. Thiago Silva. Not because of what he did in the game, not at all, but because he had to be taken off with a groin injury, and that could mean we've just seen the last of Silva in a Chelsea shirt. Which, what a sad way to see him end his career with us. I mean, it would also be he looked devastated,
didn't he?
It would be also very Chelsea under Clearlake if he ends it injured.
Oh, yeah.
Very Chelsea. Very Chelsea. But yeah, as far as the latest news, I've checked, I've just double checked now that they're just doing scans. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'd be devastated. Berth, how about go for two losers? Who have you got?
Okay, the first one, I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, but VAR.
Yeah.
I'll go. Now, I'll be honest with you.
It's always good.
Looking back, it probably is a foul. Probably. But what I hate about it is that I've seen that not only at like Premier League level, Sunday League level, I've seen those fouls not given multiple times. If that foul happens on the halfway line, it's not given. It's not turned over. Nothing. It's not clear and obvious. So if you're given that one, you've got to give absolutely thousands more now. You've got to give that as a penalty. Is that a penalty? If that happens like the other way around, is that a penalty? It's not, is it?
No.
Yeah, no. And you know what? I agree completely, Berth. You're absolutely spot on. It wasn't the fact whether it was a foul or not. It's not clear and obvious. So you can't get involved. It's not a clear and obvious error because it's one of those decisions that sometimes you'll get and sometimes you won't. There was more of a foul on Madueke in the build-up to one of Arsenal's goals than that was a foul. Yeah. And that wasn't overturned. It's the lack of consistency that kills VAR.
Because they've stopped doing clear and obvious. It's just everything. We'll review everything.
It's whether they want to get involved now or whether they can't be bothered.
Yeah. It's just the officiating in this country. I saw one yesterday with Declan Rice. How the ref has not seen that Declan Rice has absolutely twatted. I don't know who the player was.
Oh yeah,
he twatted someone.
He
literally, how a ref has not seen that is beyond me. Now, these refs are supposed to be world class, like genuine world class, elite level officials. That's what they're supposed to be. That's the level that they're officiating on. And they are not. They are not.
I mean,
carry on, Marky.
I was going to say his testicles would have rebounded off his stomach. The fact that he was kicked that hard. I can't remember who the player was now, but I know the exact.
Was it Ben Davis? Ben Davis was it?
Poor Ben.
Hoiberg. I think it was Hoiberg.
Oh, was it Hoiberg?
Was it Hoiberg? Poor Hoiberg.
I think so. But the VAR, it's just it's so cliche now, but it does generally just kill the game, doesn't it? I think
it was Davis. Just double check.
It was Davis. Okay.
VAR here. Done the VAR.
You haven't done VAR. You got it right.
Yeah.
The thought of VAR is just, I think, better than the actual execution, and that's the real problem with it.
Yeah.
And my second loser is Mudryk.
Oh, he's mine. Yeah,
he's on mine. Because, he's on mine too.
I'll be honest with you. That boy is shit. He's not great.
He isn't. What I wrote down for why he's my final loser was the dude ain't it right now, and he might. This sucks to say, he might never be. I did originally say in a previous episode that the guy needs a loan next season, but then I have to think logically. This is a loan for a player costing over 50 million, signed as a marquee signing. I worry if he ever comes back from a loan because look, many have said that we sold Pulisic for this guy. Yeah, but selling Pulisic was still the right move. You got just because he's good in the Serie A doesn't mean he's very good in the Premier League. Different leagues, different
He'd have been better
players
than Mudryk,
adapt
though.
to different. Well, maybe. I mean, players
I
adapt
think the problem
differently
with
to
Mudryk-
different leagues. But we signed Mudryk, and I stand by it. With no plan other than to blow a raspberry at Arsenal. That's what we did.
I think the problem with Mudryk is, and to be fair to him, I actually think his hold up play and his general play has actually got a bit better. But his decision making in the final third is god awful. It is really, really bad. And I'll see glimpses every now and again of him being a really good player. But that's it. And it's real short glimpses. His decision making and his final third play is really bad for what it needs to be. And you don't see it progressing. I don't think a move to Serie A, I don't think a move to the Bundesliga, I don't think a move to La Liga will help this. I just don't think you can teach it, and that's the real problem. But I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I really do.
Same, because it's a lot.
Because he
of,
does work hard. He does work hard.
He's a young lad. Well,
yeah.
Most of our squad's young, but we invest a lot in him. So, I mean, Chris, who's some losers for you other than Mudryk?
Well, I had Mudryk, and the reason why I had Mudryk was the fact that if there was anyone else on the bench, and I mean literally anybody else, he'd have come off at half-time, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether you noticed, but I think this is the day that his Chelsea career ended.
Oh.
The tactic in the second half seemed to be ignore Mudryk. They stuck him out on the left-hand side. He was obviously told to keep width on the left-hand side. I don't think a single player passed him the ball. And they looked at him numerous times and thought, nah, I won't bother. I'll pass to somebody else instead. And once you lose that confidence from your own teammates, you're done. And with Mudryk, I just think it was a gamble that hasn't paid off. If he was 18, I'd say give him more time. He's like 23, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 23.
Yeah, I mean, that's pathetic, mate. If you don't understand football at 23, what are we doing then? No. People saying give him more time. What, till he's 28? How much more time are you going to give him? He's done for me. Second loser, Cole Palmer.
Wasn't his best? Yeah. Wasn't his best game, was it?
I thought
and he could have won it. He could have won it.
Yeah, I thought he was just not in the game at all. I don't remember until that chance at the end, which he missed after doing all the hard work. I actually don't remember him doing anything in the game at all. It was a game that completely passed him by. Like, I don't know whether he was still not quite well after missing the Arsenal game, because he was ill, wasn't he, for the Arsenal game? And he certainly didn't look right in this game. So, let's cut him some slack. It's just one game. But in this game specifically, I thought he was dreadful.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we call Palmer, though, because obviously he weren't at his best, but he's also been our best player by a mile this season. So you kind of have got to give him some slack. He's allowed enough.
Yeah.
Game.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. He's the one that it's definitely allowed. Chris, who's your final loser?
Football.
Okay. That's intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, it's all back to VAR again.
Oh, yeah.
Football is losing every week here, because when you used to have these decisions go against you when it was the referee, you used to get really pissed off at the referee. And then the day after, you'd think, he's made a mistake. Everyone moves on. But you cannot make mistakes when you are watching a replay and you've got loads of time to make a decision. That's what pisses people off even more. And I just think we scored a last minute winner in this game. I didn't even celebrate because I thought that'll be ruled out. And every goal you score now, you wait for the VAR review before you can celebrate.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you think of, isn't it? It's the first thing you think of.
It is, yeah.
I heard someone say the other day, can you imagine the Troy Deeney goal in the Championship with VAR?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Sergio Aguero's goal with VAR? They wouldn't have happened because everyone would have gone, oh, hold on a minute, though. Let's wait for the VAR review. Then it would have been some muted, we scored. And that would have been it. Like, the Coventry last minute winner.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, technically it's offside, but football there, and regardless of who it was funny that it was Man United, but regardless of who it was, football there was robbed of a ridiculous, memorable moment that would have gone down in history and still been being spoken about 20 years from now. But no, VAR ruled it out because he was half a yard offside, not even that, a couple of centimetres, less than a 30-centimetre rule of offside. Football is losing every week because every week we have VAR, the emotion in football is getting less and less and less because you can't watch the game and enjoy it because you're just waiting for VAR to get involved.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Could
very
not
fair.
agree more. Could not agree more.
Yeah. Berth, what about you? Who's the final loser?
So you're gonna have to hear me out with this one. So my final loser is Badia Shield, not because he played badly at all, because he didn't. Nothing wrong with how he played. But after the final whistle, he goes up to the ref, and I do not blame him one bit whatsoever. He's had his Drogba moment there, and he's telling the ref all sorts. And again, I don't blame him one bit. The problem is everyone's going to look at him and go, "Wow, what a petulant bastard!" But I think he's done really well not to hit Craig Pawson.
I wondered what the end game was for him. Like I
Yeah.
said at the start, with Disasi being saving Craig Pawson, it was like I get it, I totally understand it, like the emotion and the anger and everything. But I'm like, what is the end game here? Like, what are you going to do?
This is what's so frustrating, though. This is what's so frustrating with referees. And again, we've gone back to it, and we've gone on. It's basically a referee episode. But these refs and these officials, they are you can't go near them. They're invincible. Like, you can't call them out. They're so guarded and so protected that nothing will ever change. They won't ever get better because they're so protected. They can't do anything wrong. It's crazy. Like, what has to happen for this to change? Oh, like it's some of the little things that they introduce, like the offside thing where they wait ages and ages and ages to put a flag up. Why?
Yeah.
Has someone got to break their leg for them to change that rule? And Badia Shield, I mean, I don't blame him one bit. I mean, everyone's going to look at him and go, "Wow, look at him! Look, what a disgrace! What a disgrace!" Like, I did a job, but I think it's so. Like, I do not blame him one bit. I'd like it's crazy. Carry on, Chris. Carry on.
You know what I think as well, though? Like, here's where I have some sympathy with the on-field referee now. Because Craig Pawson didn't give that as a foul.
Yeah.
He was stood literally 2 yards away and didn't give it. And I know people will say, yeah, but then he got to go to the monitor and he still gave it. But everyone knows that the minute they get sent to that monitor, they're overturning the decision.
What is the point in that monitor? What is the point?
No point at all.
What's the point in going over?
Yeah.
Because so Badia Shields got up to him after having a go when actually he wants to have a go at someone 40 miles away
At Stockley Park.
At Stockley Park. And that's where I don't think VAR is even helping the on-field referees now, because they're getting the flack for a decision they're not even making.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, there we go. Right, emojis. I mean, for me, I have a straight face because VAR robs me again. Take a shot if you're saying VAR. Right, what about you, Berth? What have you got?
I've got a laughing emoji. I don't even need to. I don't think I need to say why, because I mean, I've said it numerous times, but yeah, VAR. It's just laughable at this point, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, Chris.
I've gone with the skull emoji because it was a second weekend in a row I've just watching football die.
Fair enough. Right, Lion of the Week. Our Lions from the weekend. These were good. We had Cucurella, and my wheel gave me Badia Shield. And depending on how the game ended, you take that which way. We do have a midweek game, actually. We've got Spurs Thursday. Big game, very big game. And that means I've got to spin the wheel for me. But who you thinking is going to be our potential Lion of the Week?
Might be a boring choice, but I'll go Cole Palmer.
Well, hopefully he plays. I mean, he should do.
Yeah. I mean, he's scored in pretty much against all the top six. So Yeah, I'll give
Yeah, that's
it
true.
Palmer.
Yeah, that's fair. Come on, Chris.
I'm gonna go with Nicholas Jackson,
I was tempted
Who-
by Jackson.
who
Got a
I
hat-trick,
thought,
didn't
got a hat trick against Tottenham last time, so hopefully he'll go into the game with some confidence. And I actually thought he was excellent against Villa.
he? Yeah, he did play well against Villa. Unlucky not to get a goal.
I've got Caicedo, and it was so close to getting Marcus Bettinelli.
Caicedo's a good shout, though. Caicedo's a good shout.
Yeah, well, quietly doing his job. That's the best thing. Quaresma's questions. So I ate the other Greg has asked, has Gallagher raised his price tag?
Sorry, that name is unbelievable.
I love it. Great goal, but surely every time he scores, he increases it. I want to quickly say, I actually think the answer to this is no. Hear me out though. I don't think he is sold this summer. I'm going to say, in fact, I think he'll get a 3-year deal because goals aren't going to increase a price tag when his contract is less than 12 months to run this summer. This ownership will, I feel, want to preserve that price tag, and a new deal is the only way to do it. You sell him this summer, you're going to get 30 to 40 due to the contract. You sign him to that longer deal and he performs like this again next season, you can sell him for double and maybe more next summer. I'm not saying I want him sold. I'm just saying that's the logic I'm seeing. So I don't think he's sold. But what do you?
I genuinely think he's irreplaceable. I think Chris mentioned earlier about like the best midfield is always Enzo and Caicedo don't work together, but there's always Gallagher there. Yeah, Gallagher is the one in that midfield that I've said it before. I think he's the £100 million player in that three. I just think he just his energy and his intensity, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think he should be Chelsea captain, full stop. Yeah, over Reece James. I really do think that. Yeah. I think Mikey, you could be right. You might get a new deal, then maybe sell him next year. I don't want that to happen because I love him.
Yeah,
and
100%.
he's I've completely changed my views on him. To be fair, last summer I'd have sold him. This summer, irreplaceable. But yeah, that's my view anyway.
Chris,
no, I agree with Beth. Like I said earlier, I don't see how the board can justify selling him because we haven't got anyone to replace him. We'd have to sign someone. Whoever we sign is going to cost more transfer fee than we get for Gallagher, and they're going to want more wages.
Well, the argument was Bruno. That's £100 million player because Newcastle are not going to go below the release clause.
£100 million player. He's going to want at least 200 grand a week.
And I'm not being funny. I'd take Gallagher over Bruno. That might be controversial. I'm saying
right now. I would.
I would for us because of what Gallagher is to us as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear all the ex-players talking about Gallagher. I think they've got to be really careful here as well, though, because selling someone like Gallagher after the season he's had and after he's worked so long to get in the Chelsea first team says to all of our youth players, you might as well not bother.
Give up.
Yeah, give up. You'll never play here.
Even if you're Lionel Messi, you are still going to be sold for pure profit. Yeah. You don't want to set a precedent. You don't want to set the standard. You don't.
Exactly.
Finally, Josh Thompson has asked, is the game against Villa the most passion you've seen from Poch all season?
I'd say this week has been.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
His emotions at the end of United 4-3, they were certainly the contender for most passion. However, I feel like he came out of this game a lot better than how he entered the game. You know, his halftime team talk worked. His tactical switch up with Cucurella, it changed the game. His post-game comments mirrored how the fans were feeling. I've got to hand him a bunch of roses because those are ticking boxes that, wow, I didn't think he'd tick. I mean, 24 hours is a long time in football, and it's amazing how he went, boom, completely changed the perspective on him. Fair play. So be interesting to see how we get on against Spurs. I'm going to save the top trumps for another week because, there'll be more of us to get through them. But it wasn't top trumps, actually. It was Ross Turnball's Tenaball, so it does help if I read
I like that one. I like that one.
Should we play it? Do you want to play it?
Go on.
I've got one. All right.
Let's play it.
This week's category is Instagram followers. So I want you to work together to name the top 10 most followed footballers on Instagram. They can be active or retired. Doesn't matter.
I'll go. Can I just rattle three off the bat? This is what I'm guessing. Messi.
He's on there. He's 500 million. He's in second.
Ronaldo.
623 million. He's first.
David Beckham's got to be on there, surely.
Fifth,
Yeah.
87 million.
Wow, fifth though. So who is third and fourth?
Active. Both are active players at the moment.
Neymar.
Neymar's
and
third, 219 million.
Wow.
Wow,
Okay.
jeez. Mbappe?
Mbappe's
Hey,
fourth,
Look at that.
112.
There we
Think
go,
there,
grandma.
Berth, weren't we?
You now have two players that I know are definitely retired. I think the other one's still playing in Brazil, I think.
Retired players is difficult.
So 2 are retired and 1's playing in Brazil right now.
I believe so. I do need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Okay, 2 retired. Who is going to be?
Yeah, he definitely does play. He does play for Fluminense.
It's not going to be something like Gary Neville, is it, Berth?
No.
Because of all the
No,
punditry and
no.
stuff.
Why on earth would it be Gary?
It won't be Gary Neville.
Because he's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean, Phil Neville's a manager still, and he's not a manager. I mean, he's literally he held back the England women's team, and he went to Inter Miami, was awful there, and now he's awful at the Timbers. So anyway, off topic.
Is Zlatan one?
He is. He's ninth with 64 million.
Yeah. Oh, good shout. Yeah,
Four more names.
So one more retired, one playing in Brazil in Fluminense.
Yes.
And the other 2 are active still.
Yes. If I can't give you the nationalities, because if I give you the one, you'll get it instantly.
One of them. Suarez?
No.
That's bad.
Who's playing at Fluminense?
Well, it will help if I say 2.
David Luiz?
No. 2 are, they are both Brazilian. One's retired, one's not. I'm shocked that you haven't got the retired one.
Is one Ronaldinho?
Yes, it is. 76 million.
Wow, I didn't expect him to be that big on.
No, I didn't expect him to be that high either.
The other one though.
2 attacking players, 1 defender.
Okay, right. Who are the active ones? Which ones?
They're all active. They're all active.
Okay, they're all active. Right. One defender. Sergio Ramos. Is he retired yet?
No.
That was bad.
6 La Liga titles, the one through Fluminense's got. 6 La Ligas.
6.
He's got 5 Champions Leagues.
Is he the defender?
He is, yeah. He's got so many Champions League trophies.
Surely it's not Marcello.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
67 million.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he posts great selfies. I don't bloody know. I haven't looked.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
I'm actually
It must be the hair, yeah.
Right, 2 left, both active, both forwards.
Both active. Both attackers, he said, so they could be wingers.
No, both forwards then. Oh, the one could play on the wing, but I can't say the league either. You'd get it straight away.
Active strikers. Harry Kane?
No.
Harry Kane.
One is in the Premier League.
Haaland?
No. One's in the Premier League. One is not in the Premier League. Not in Europe.
One's in the Premier League. How can it not be? Mo Salah?
Yes, 63 million. Okay. He's 10th.
Again, look, the hair though.
Yeah,
this is what I think of, Chris.
7.
Who else has got an afro?
7th has got 75 million.
And they have a forward who don't play in Europe.
Correct.
What league do they play in? Or would that give it away?
You would instantly know, which might in itself be a clue.
Okay.
He has.
Come on, Chris.
I think he's played with.
Don't play in Europe. So what? MLS?
No.
Don't play in Europe.
He got paid a lot of money to move here.
It's got to be China,
so
surely.
Plays in Saudi.
Yes, he does.
Plays in Saudi.
Saudi.
A forward who plays in Saudi. Sadio Mane.
Benzema.
75 million.
Right, have we got one more left or not?
No, that
Is
was it. Well done.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Salah, Zlatan, Marcelo, Benzema, Ronaldinho, Beckham, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo. There you go.
Marcelo being on there
Oh,
doesn't
well.
seem right. That does not sit right with me.
More than
Nothing against
Zlatan.
Marcelo.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah, that's what.
Hey,
I mean, big up Marcelo. Great,
Yeah.
right? Unbelievable left back, but just surprising.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
Thank you for listening to the episode. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Friday. Much to review. So till then, that'll be us signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.